Alexei, how's it? Welcome back to yet another exciting podcast of the Awake Mzansi YouTube channel. My name is Zondo, and today I want us to talk about Egoli, the city of gold. Johannesburg has been known as the center of African excellency, the one province and perhaps city as well that has been regarded as a world-class city for many years, the very home of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. However, today I want us to look at why are we even speaking about this city? This very city that's find itself having water crisis, the very city that has issues in and around building infrastructure, the very city yet again that find itself having an issue that occurred about a year ago, the Lilian Ngoyi Street. If you don't know about it, stay tuned because today we need to unpack these issues that are clearly taking out the gold out of the city and making it rather a very chaotic one. So let's imagine you find yourself in an African world-class city, but the reality is that on a day-to-day basis, you might not have water. And so let's look at Gauteng province alone, right? That in light of the current water restrictions that are there, that on a daily basis, there's about 278 liters that are used per person per day. This is, by the way, far above the recommended standard, which is 173. And so the rainwater has issued out warnings that we are critically low as far as the water is concerned. I mean, not just Joburg alone, but as a province. And there has been very little steps that were taken in as far as fixing this very issue, knowing very well that our infrastructure is aging. And without taking care of that, the outcome is what we are all now experiencing. And it begs the question again that we're looking at the very same city that has about 7 different mayors in the past 4 years. Now, imagine that, right? And so my question then becomes, which is what at times the municipality has said to say, look, not only does Gauteng perhaps have a lot of people in terms of population across the country, therefore, is it so that people are using water excessively without care, hence then we do not have enough water? Or is it that we did not prepare for the fact that with the rise of population, there's definitely going to be more demand in as far as the water supply is then concerned? So my biggest question to you then is, how do we go about resolving this very issue? Because not only water is essential as a necessity and is perhaps a humanitarian issue as well, that for me, the emphasis here are how can a city as big as this one, with all its economic power, isn't able to solve a very basic need that we have as a nation? Because imagine now the reality of knowing that you might only have water at specific intervals, and then in and above that, you actually do not have access to it. Is that the kind of city we all want to speak about? And is this yet furthermore adding to the deteriorating state of this very country? That's a concern that I have. And if you enjoy back in watching this, how often do you drink water now? Because clearly that seems to be something you must be asking yourself to say, are we going to have it this week? Are we going to have it the following week and so forth? And what do you propose in as far as what you've seen so far, the actions being taken where the municipality says, hey, we are doing everything that we can, but if there's just so many people, we aren't able to supply. Is that sufficient enough to the current crisis at hand? And is that the only solution really that we are saying, or the answer rather, to answer the many South Africans as well, to say, look, unfortunately, we do not have a solution for you guys. What of that shall we make of it in as far as this water crisis is concerned? So in 2023, we all woke up to the news that at the very center of Johannesburg, there had been a gas explosion on the Lilian Ngoyi Street, which led to a few injuries, as we all know. And with that being said, very little effort has been done since then up until today. And for me, this is at the hub of Johannesburg, the very city that as a country and perhaps as a province should always be very proud of in as far as what the city represents and what it's all about. And unfortunately, we are realizing that the issues are far bigger than what we can possibly imagine. Because with the recent tender that was issued out, as we all know, the very contractor, eventually it all came out to a fraud. It was all just a scam at the end of the day, which then begs the very question that how long will it take for this road to be actually fixed? The new timeline suggests that it could be perhaps 2026. Are we actually going to see that, or is this yet going to be another crisis that is used as means to take money from the very state, take money from the very people that work so hard on a day-to-day basis to keep this country alive and kicking? It's a very big concern in as far as the efforts as well that the municipality has said to us to say, look, we have made all the efforts that we can, but if now we cannot even find the right contractor to build, we ourselves do not have a solution. Where does that leave us? Where does it leave the very people that inhabit the city of Johannesburg? In addition to all these crises at the moment, the water shortages, the issue of our current infrastructure, we now have an issue where there's over 200 government buildings that have been unlawfully hijacked, many that have been left as well abandoned, taken into vacancy by people who do not truly have the right to own those buildings. In a recent case about a year ago, 77 people were killed in a fire in one of the hijacked buildings, which only highlights the many cases that people have endured. That at the core of it, more than anything, this has left many people very vulnerable and unsafe as well. So the biggest question to ask is the current decline of the city of Johannesburg. Does it merely reflect the city or the country's issues at large? That the current issues are merely just the starting point in as far as things getting worse, not only just in Johannesburg, but also things escalating from more on a national level? Where to from here as far as Johannesburg is concerned? Where to from here? What are the solutions in as far as the water crisis, the hijacked buildings? What are the means at the moment that can be done to resolve this very issue? I personally still want to see Johannesburg back where it belongs. But clearly there's going to be much more work that needs to be done in order for the city to reclaim its status. And so I'd like to hear from you as well. Do you think that Johannesburg will reclaim what it used to have? And can it also resolve the current issues that are experienced at the moment? I'd really love to hear your thoughts and comments in and around this topic, because without this, things seemingly are going to really get worse. And this is it currently as far as the city of Johannesburg is concerned. I do invite you once again to please do subscribe, keep continuing to support the channel, and your opinion is very, very important. Let's talk about Joburg, and let's see if the next time around when we speak about this, we'll be talking a whole different topic. It's been a pleasure hosting you once again. Let's connect on the next one. Cheers.